Welcome to the Nevin Shapiro Show. From the U to the world, we don't play pretend. We breaking down stories they don't wanna defend. It's that sideline talk, real game, no fluff. College ball pressure where the grind gets tough. It's more than stats, it's power and code. Who run the system, who carry the load? From the locker room lights to the big time glow. Nevin and Mike, they control that flow.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Nevin Shapiro Show. I'm Mike Tirado. I'm here with Nevin Shapiro. And today we're going to cover our post-game of the NC State game. Miami got a very convincing win, 41-7 over NC State. We're going to break down everything for you guys, offense, defense, get into it all for you. But before the video does start, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button. We are rocking our Free Willis shirts today. You can get it in the description below. It's also tagged in our Instagram bio. They still have our boy locked up. They won't let him out back into the program. So let's support Willis McGahee and let's get some Free Willis shirts out there to spread this word and get him back into the university. Also, we are sponsored by K2 Water Hydration. Get your K2 Water Hydration formula at k2waterhydration.com and be sure to use code NEVIN10 for your discount. And of course, let's get into the action. Miami captures a convincing win, NC State 41-7. A lot to get into here. So let's start with the Miami offense. We put up 41 points, dominated offensively, obviously against a high school defense. But what did you see from Carson Beck this game, like in the throws that he made?
He looked solid to me. Offensively, they had some mojo going. Almost 600 yards, 581, I think. Absolute domination. I thought about, like, how do I come off for this show? I don't want to seem like, it was a nothing game, although it was. But they were crisp, and they beat this team down. They beat them to sleep. 581 yards, man. 36 minutes time possession to 23. 28 first downs to 9. Over 200 yards rushing. Not a lot that needs to be said. Carson Beck looked solid. Yeah. And someone had asked me the other day about, I think maybe on our IG Live, someone had asked me, how do you rate Carson Beck 1 to 10? You asked me that maybe. And I said, I gave him an 8, and then I took it down to a 7.
I think I was on the season. Like, what would you rate his season?
Yeah, for the season. And that's because he had, two crucial times. His throws, cost us the difference in winning the Louisville game and the SMU. But as for his performance yesterday, or Saturday rather, excellent, solid, steady. And I think he's been really good for the season. I just think he had 2 errant throws that cost us.
Right.
Although I don't put those losses on him directly.
Girard Pringle gets his first start and lights it up. Yeah. 17 carries, 116 yards. Where has this guy been all year?
Well, we've been asking for him for a few weeks now. And it's simple math. If something's not working, change it up, right? Fix it. Make a move. Do something. That's creativity or just blind observation, right? And, I was happy to see it. And, we've been calling for him for a few weeks, and I'm glad to see it. I hope he becomes part of this offense for the rest of whatever ride they may or may not be on. These next 2 games for sure, and then hopefully they just get into this thing.
Right. Let me ask you, I have a specific question about this. Do you think this is a pecking order issue or an NIL, politics issue? That Pringle took 10 weeks for him to really come to the show.
That's a great question, Mike. You know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight at the Miami coaching staff and how they go about it, because I don't know if it's a Miami thing or a collegiate situation nationally. Like, all right, if you start playing your kids and they all blow up, and let's say all these freshmen blow up, now you got to re-recruit them and pay them again. I don't know. I don't have the answer for you on that one, although that question is spot on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah, there's, I saw it in that Bethune-Cookman game. Even though it was Bethune-Cookman, you could see the speed difference that he had versus our other backs. Not that our other backs are bad. I love our backs. I love Shamar Brown. I love Mark Fletcher and Lyle. But he's got that. He would touch the ball, and he's 2 or 3 yards up the field as soon as he touches that ball before he makes contact. And
he's a smaller guy, dart. You know, small.
Yep.
And I like it, man. You need home run hitters, bro. And he's, to me, closer to a home run hitter than I think whatever else we have. Maybe Jordan Lyle is one, but we just don't see it or see him enough.
Yeah. So I went to the game on Saturday, and as I sat there and watched the offense do more trick plays, Malachi throwing a dot to Josiah Trader, reverse flea flickers, I kept getting more and more upset. And I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer, but I know there has to be people out there that are with me on this. Like, where were these play calls against Louisville, against SMU when we needed them? And now all of a sudden, Dawson and Mario or whoever's calling the plays are deciding to completely open this offense up. It's like, I know there's got to be people out there that are being like, what? Why now? Now that we have this micro chance of sliding in, we're starting to like, all right, let's get creative now, 10 weeks after and with 2 losses.
Let's evolve.
I don't want, like I said, I don't want to be the negative Nancy. I love that we're winning. We looked really good on Saturday. Again, the opponent wasn't, all that. But why is it now?
Yeah.
Why is it now?
The $1 million question is, who's really running the offense?
Right.
Is it Shannon Dawson? Or is it, Mario and his, understudy? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know, but at least they opened it up some. And, Miami's got a chance, Mike. 2 shitty losses, and they still got a chance, which is unbelievable. And there's a lot of football left. There just is. They got to handle their business, man. And I'll say my piece, on the Mario thing, if you want me to say it now.
Well, I think if you're saying that there's still a plan and there's still a plan in place.
You want to hear my...
I think the fan base would be interested in what you have to say regarding...
Yeah. Okay, so, all right. So I put together a list yesterday. I like to do my research thoroughly and really just see where the pitfalls are or aren't, right? So I looked at 2. I think one was On 3 Sports and the other one was another high-end projection. And I looked at the first 12 projected teams. Miami's not one of them in either one. However, we are in the first 4 out, which would be us, BYU, Utah, USC. Okay. And I think we're going to clear those 3 teams that I just mentioned behind us. So let me just say this. I looked at the AP poll. Okay, so the AP poll, they got us at 14, Georgia Tech 15, USC 16, and Texas 17. And the only reason why I'm mentioning those teams behind us is only because you just know they're going to reappear in our vision. They're gonna, right? Texas, although behind us, there's already talk of a 3-loss Texas team. Let's say they were to beat A&M. They don't deserve to be in over us. But I'm still going to cover the gamut for everybody. Okay, so I looked at the schedules remaining. Oregon, right? USC, they play, and at Washington. They could certainly stumble in one of those 2. Oklahoma. Now, that was a problem for us. We really didn't need them to beat Alabama, but they did, and I actually liked them, did I not, against Alabama. They play Missouri and LSU at home, both games. They should win both. They stole a spot from us. If we get bumped by 1 spot, that Oklahoma beating Alabama becomes crucial. Of course, everyone, we have to win our last 2 games. I think we'll smash Virginia Tech, or at least handle them. And Pittsburgh, we know it's going to be a danger zone. We know it is, right? Maybe we win. Hopefully we win. But it's not going to be no walk in the park. Okay. Ole Miss, they play Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl and then potentially SEC Championship. I don't think they're in our radar. Alabama could be in our radar. They got 2 losses now. They play at Auburn, Iron Bowl, no lock. and potentially could lose the SEC championship if they make it. They would have 3 losses if they do. Does Alabama get in? A 3-loss Alabama team as an SEC championship loss? Get in over us?
It's tough.
I say no. They don't deserve to be in over us. And I know we took 2 bad losses, but we're still in it. And what makes our losses any worse than someone else's? See, like I'm giving us the reality check here. Okay, Texas A&M. Boy, were they close to getting beat, right? 33. They walked them down. Okay, they got to still play Texas. I don't think they're in our vicinity. They're
in.
They're in. Georgia, not in. 1 loss. Then they play at Georgia Tech. They could lose that game very easily. Let's say they lose that game. And then let's say they lose the SEC championship if they were to make it. 3 losses. They're not getting in ahead of us. Or should they? Texas Tech, they're in. BYU, I think they go down to Cincy this week. They become a non-issue. Utah, they play at Kansas. Potentially could play in the Big 12, potentially championship game. I don't think they get in over us, in my opinion, no matter what happens, assuming we win. And USC, I'm only mentioning them because they're close. But Oregon could end that and put them to sleep Friday, and that's it, right? And that really covers what I think is our chances. I think teams are going to lose. This is all based and predicated on us winning our last 2 games.
Of course.
I think we're in. If we beat Pittsburgh, I think we find ourselves in. It's crazy. Do we deserve to be in? Well, I've already given you my opinion, but people have short memories, right? And you forget about losses and you move on. The one thing I just cannot understand is this Notre Dame thing. And it's such a perplexing matter because it's absolute bullshit. If they were to, we win the last 2 games and Notre Dame wins their games. How do you put them in over us? Based on what? Who have they really beaten? They beat USC, but we beat them. What does head-to-head mean? What does it mean? It should mean a lot. Why play? And I'm not saying Notre Dame doesn't belong in or they're not one of the top 12 teams in America. But if it's a contest between do they get in or do we, are they playing better than we are? Probably. I'd say probably. Right? Would you agree with that?
I think they are playing better
than
us currently, yes.
Okay. But if all things are equal and the records are the same, take your emotions out. Head to head. It puts you in. Period.
It should.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's the argument for Miami fans against everyone else. We beat them. Same record, we beat them. Bye. If you don't have the University of Miami name tag to it, are you even thinking about it?
There's that committee biasness. And
are you even thinking about it, Mike?
Yeah, listen.
Come on, man. It's bullshit, man. But let's handle our business and let the chips fall. But how could they look the viewers in the face? Even if you're not a Miami fan, well, Notre Dame, they've gotten better. Maybe they have. All right, I'm going to say it. They have gotten better. They didn't beat us, though.
Wins and loss column. It has to come down to that. And I know there's been a lot of changes on the committee board recently, which is a little scary, honestly, as a fan and as someone who, as we love college football and everyone watching loves college football. It's becoming a little political on this board.
It's not becoming. It is.
It's just, and I don't like the way it's being run. People falling off, people coming on. They have to make a decision within less than a month on what's going on.
And here's the other thing, this is for the Miami fan base, right? And we're all there, okay? But that's why you control your own narrative. That's why you don't choke out games like SMU. And you don't choke out games to Louisville when you're at home and you're favored by 14, right? You don't leave it in the hands of people because we're not loved. We're not liked. We're despised. So, you handle your business. And the ACC is a garbage conference. I was listening to a lot of context about how, the ACC has 5 teams that potentially could go. They got 5 garbage teams. One of the things I wanted to do is read you like Miami's schedule, and you could take any other ACC team for that matter, but we all know Miami, so I would read their schedule and compare them to, let me pull any random team out of the SEC and read you their schedule and Miami's schedule. Just take the Gator schedule. Just read their schedule and look at Miami's schedule, and then tell me what you want to swallow medicine after looking at the Gator schedule.
It is brutal.
It's
brutal.
It's ridiculous. So you can't really compare, and that's why I rag the way I do. Man, we're in the ACC. The ACC sucks. It sucks, man. It sucks. We better handle business. We're favored by 17 over Virginia Tech. Anything less than a 17-point win is offensive. And then let's get ready for Pittsburgh. We'll be favored over Pittsburgh by, I'd guess, a touchdown. Maybe 9, 7-10. I don't know. Whatever it is, man, we should win. Both those teams are not on our level talent-wise. Certainly Virginia Tech isn't.
They're bad.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
But so I want to get into this real quick. So I want to give my flowers again, one more time, to Corey Heatherman. Guy has got this defense going. They're very good right now defensively. And I just don't see this guy staying here for much longer. So I think somebody's going to poach this guy. I mean, he's playing, he's coaching that well. Last few years, he's had really good defenses in every stint he's been at. And another shout out to Jacoby Thomas. I think he is going to project to be a first-round draft pick. I think he's right in that realm. I love
it. I mean, I like when we got him.
Yeah.
South Florida kid for one. You know how I feel about that. I'm always close to the home squad. I love my Dade and Broward boys, and yeah, you may be right. And as far as Corey Heatherman goes, he's done an incredible job this season, and he deserves a lot of praise. As far as getting a head coaching job and this and that, I pumped the brakes.
Smaller school.
Yeah, I mean, I pumped the brakes. There's still you still got to build your resume. You know what I mean? And not just 1 year. Listen, Gene Chizik won a national title with Auburn. He was gone a year later. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And he's been a really good upgrade. And let him cut his teeth and do even better next year with more talent. And he's done very well. I've obviously as a University of Miami fan, it couldn't have gotten worse than what that defense was. So it's been really it's been uplifting and refreshing to see a team fly around on defense and not get pushed around.
So let me ask you this question. Do you think that CJ Bailey and NC State just had a fluke game against Georgia Tech, or is Miami's defense that legit?
Two things. One, they were at home, NC State. The difference between playing on the road and playing at home, I've shared it with you a million times. It's significant, right? I had not watched CJ Bailey personally. Well, let me finish answering your question. Georgia Tech's defense is garbage as well. So you take that garbage defense and you put them on the road, you're going to have a performance like what NC State had against Georgia Tech. And if you're not sure if that's an accurate statement, look at what BC just did, who was about as hopeless as you could be. As a program, right?
They had like 2 wins or something like that. They're horrible.
And they were winning the whole game against Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech may end up winning this conference and may end up winning this ACC championship, but make no mistake about it. They're not like lights out on defense. Their defense is horrible. So Corey Heatherman deserves some credit for that defensive performance. The Miami players deserve credit for that performance. I think it's a combination of their defense was really good. CJ Bailey was overmatched in this situation, and as far as his performance against Georgia Tech, he was at home, and Georgia Tech has a horrible defense. That would be my comparative analogy.
Right.
But I did say, or I will say, I didn't like this kid, CJ Bailey, watching him. I didn't like him. I don't want that to be our quarterback here next year.
That was going to be my question.
And I don't knock him in that sense. He's got he's got some traits that are good. But I look at him and I see this kid, James Blackman from Florida State, 6'5", just long, rangy. But I don't, man. I really personally want us to go the Luke Nickel, Darian Coleman route. Like, I'm excited to see Darian Coleman. I just don't think he ends up seeing the field here because of Mario's history of bringing in the portal guy. And especially if they end up getting this kid, Lenore Sellers, that has been speculated. I don't think those other kids see the field, man. I just don't. Not in any significant type role. That's my opinion. I don't know this to be true. I heard CJ Bailey was a virtual lock to come here until that story broke about Lenore Sellers. Obviously, if that's the case, Lenore Sellers is a much better acquisition, and the NFL scouts would say the same. I don't know. That's going to be, all of us are going to find out at the same time.
Sure.
No one knows.
You know, as you're sitting here and saying, you know, Georgia Tech could win the whole thing and everything, I'm just thinking to myself, when the bracket comes out and you have the top 4 teams, obviously, that get that first round bye, and you see that ACC champion, as a Miami fan, it should make you sick that any team in there, Georgia Tech, SMU, whoever is, I'm like, how did that team get a first round bye? You know, that's the only thing. As you're saying it, I'm like, oh my God, it just makes me sick to think that there's going to be a team in the ACC that gets a first round bye, and it's not Miami.
Make no mistake about it. It's an absolute failure. It's an epic failure not to win this conference.
It's
an epic failure.
And I said I'm not going to talk about Mario. And I'm not going to say anything about it.
I'm not even going there, but it's an epic failure to not win this conference, man. If you're trying to avoid that conversation, you can. But how do you ignore it, man? We haven't won an ACC championship. It's inexplicable. It's inexplicable. One year it's this team, the next year it's that team. It could be that. It could be just. Come on, man. It's the ACC. I mean, it's the ACC.
I mean, at one point we were talking that Duke could win the whole thing. I mean, what? Duke? Like that there was a potential for Duke to win and make this ACC championship? Like, what are we saying? Like, this is comical. I just, if you're a realistic fan, take your fandom out of it. And I have to do this all the time because I'm a nut job fan. This is unacceptable. There's going to be a team with a first round bye and it's not Miami. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Look at the talent level. Just go roster like this. Georgia Tech, SMU, Louisville. Just put the rosters next to each other and tell me who should be in the first round. Like, what are we talking about? I don't know. It triggered me as soon as you said Georgia Tech might be the winner.
Or better yet, Virginia.
Oh my God. A basketball program is making the first round. You know, Virginia is winning like national titles in basketball, not in football.
This is, you know, I was going to make this speech this week. Maybe I could wait till next week. Like, the pressure's on Mario, man. You better win these last 2 games. I don't know how you look at the fan base and say, well, we got these recruits coming in, or man, I don't know, man. Just beat Pittsburgh, beat Virginia Tech, and then beat Pittsburgh. And I think other teams will lose. And I think we'll have the opportunity to make it. I really do. I really do. I think we can back into this thing. Because that's what it is. We're backing into it.
Like Clemson last year.
Whatever. Who cares? Yeah. Get there. And if we win, Miami fans, if we back in and just make it, we could win. I don't know if can we win it all? Maybe. Honestly,
the seeding.
Like,
really.
I'm just gonna tell you honestly, man. Like, you know, I've bashed the shit out of them for these last couple of weeks because those losses are just inexplicable. There's no excuse. I don't care. People say, "Oh, the refs and this." We're so much better than SMU. It shouldn't even come down to that.
Correct.
That's it. And let's be honest, people. Like, It shouldn't even come down to that. It shouldn't have come down to that. And if we make it, we can beat anyone. We have the talent to beat anybody. There's no who's dominant. When you look at those teams, like I think if we were in the SEC, we would get bludgeoned as a whole, based on the whole season, right? Because that schedule is just murderer's row. We've already shown the lack of capacity to finish off a team like a Louisville or an SMU. So what happens if, let's say, we take a loss on the road at Tennessee? Then you got to come back the next week and you're playing Auburn at home. Auburn's nothing great, but they got SEC dudes. So they're no worse than Louisville. Right?
Definitely not.
Okay. We get by Auburn at home. Now we got to go back on the road to, like, same situation as
LSU.
Louisville to LSU. Night. A down LSU. No.
They still got dudes everywhere.
You better show up. So that's my point, where I think we would get bludgeoned in the SEC as a whole. Now, fast forward to the playoffs. If we have to play an SEC team, we can win. You understand the difference, what I'm saying? As a whole, I think we get gutted. One game situation, we have the ability to beat a Georgia, an Alabama, an Ole Miss. We do. Ole Miss has one running back, Lacey. We stopped Jeremiah Love. He's considered the best back in the country, so we can certainly stop Lacey. We have a pass rush. I think we would put problems on Trinidad Chambliss. All right? So there's game plans for certain SEC teams.
Yeah.
Alabama's got no running game. We don't load the box. Now we play in a different zone coverage against their receivers. Florida State beat the living daylights out of Alabama. What makes you think we couldn't, or at least beat them? See? So I make realistic arguments.
One game situations.
I make
different.
realistic arguments, Mike, for why and Miami fans should feel comfortable or confident if we get into the playoffs. Anything can happen. There's no dominant team. Who's a dominant team? I want you to tell me.
The only dominant team right now is Ohio State.
And I don't think they're dominant. They have not played anybody.
Yeah.
I think they got their hands full with Michigan. I don't say they lose, but they got their hands full with Michigan. That game's going to be for blood. Julian Saint's still a freshman. When you haven't been challenged, when you get punched in the mouth, oh my God, that's my own blood. Now you're in it. Now you're here. You're in it.
No, they haven't been challenged all
Right.
year.
And so I don't think they're so dominant. I think that they are the clear-cut favorite right now because they're undefeated. They are the defending champ. They deserve the credit that they've been getting, but I don't think they're unbeatable by any stretch. Indiana, we already know they're not unbeatable. Penn State had them on the ropes, if not for an incredible catch. And no disrespect to Indiana. They get their props. Beyond that, Texas A&M, we know they're not unbeatable. They were down 30-3 at home at halftime. So those are your three teams running the show right now. All three of them are beatable.
Correct.
My opinion. Miami fans, we get in, we have a chance. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Anything
100%.
can happen.
Yep.
Mario gets out of his own way, lets the offense coordinator call his plays, and let's live and die on what Shannon Dawson calls. We got a chance. As long as Mario Cristobal does not have any input in an offensive game plan, we have a legitimate fighting chance. That's not me ragging Mario. That's me being honest. He's not an offensive coach. That's not what he does, and that's not what he does well, for sure.
There's factual information. Yeah. Anything else, Nev, before we log off here?
No, I think you guys should be pleased that I really kept it very G-rated. Cup half full. Nothing to do with any negativity. Let's just back in. Who cares? We're not the first, and we won't be the last if we back into the playoffs. Let's just get in and roll the dice.
If we can make some noise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who cares? Is it a law? Is it a failure not to win the ACC championship? If we end up not pulling a miracle out and getting to that point, yeah, it's a failure. But that doesn't mean the season's over. So let's focus on the positive, and we're still alive. Just go handle our own business, so we don't have to worry about anyone else saying we didn't do this. Handle ours, and then let the chips fall. And I think there's enough chips that we've had enough sample size, Mike, of college football is wacky. Somebody on that list is dropping that you don't expect to drop, right? And we're right there. We're at the doorstep. We're knocking. So we're close enough. We're not like 10. We're not in the same position we were 3 weeks ago. We're closer to the inbox. We lose to Pittsburgh, game over. We beat Pittsburgh, I think we go.
Well, there you have it, guys. We have a chance, crazy enough, because we lost 2 games last year and we didn't have, we couldn't get in. But we beat ranked teams this year. That's what's helping our resume. And if we beat Pitt and they're ranked, that's going to also help.
Yeah.
Our resume.
One additional comment. As I'm looking at this Free Willis shirt that we're both wearing, and I really don't want to get into all the other charades of this matter, but it really is so stupid and petty. Can you imagine the Gators telling Tim Tebow, no, you can't come in? That's the same thing. But that's my only comment about that. Let's keep it on the football field and really just hope for a positive outcome Saturday and then next Saturday. And we'll be talking about better things. And I can't wait. We have some good recruiting stuff coming up.
Definitely. For sure.
You guys are going to really like this stuff. And I know we discussed about doing potentially 3 shows a week. Give us your comments.
I'm all in for it. I love it. I know you guys like it a lot. So
yeah, and I can mix it up. There's a lot of angles we can go. We don't have to just sit there and talk about Mario. There's a lot.
We've been doing a lot of Instagram lives lately. So if you guys ever want questions,
there's opportunities certainly, and we've pumped the brakes a little bit on the interviews, only because it's in season. Just so you guys know, but there's a plethora of people that want to come on.
Yep. We off season we'll definitely have some definitely lined up for sure. So Nev, appreciate it. If you guys are not subscribed yet for the channel, before you log off, please click that subscribe button real quick. And of course, as always, we'll catch you on the next one.